Y'all thought I was gonna let a flu stop me. Just a little bitty tiny flu. Yeah, I was in the bed all weekend long, but I am here. Now, the show's not as polished and it's not as edited as it typically would be, but damn it, I'm here. So, we're going to talk this entertainment news. I am Tasha Pierce, and this is the weekly wrap up. Okay, today on the wrap up, we're going to pick back up on that crazy drama that was behind the scenes of the X-Men 97 production. That is the drama between Marvel Studios and the former X-Men 97 showrunner, Beau DeMayo. Now, Beau DeMayo has filed a complaint against Marvel/Disney in Los Angeles Superior Court. DeMayo, who was fired earlier this year after Marvel cited that there was egregious misconduct on his production of X-Men 97, he is denying all of those allegations of misconduct. And he claims that he was let go because he is gay, black, and open about it. Now, he made this declaration in a 30-minute video that was posted only on his OnlyFans. So if you wanted to hear Beau DeMayo's side of the story, you had to cough up $9.99, which is the cost of a subscription or a monthly subscription to his OnlyFans account. He shared that Marvel had fostered a toxic work environment, and it also subjected workers to what he called near criminal working conditions. And his lawyer, Brian Friedman, is also seeking to remove what they describe as an illegal non-disparagement provision from DeMayo's exit agreement. Now, his apparent breach of that exit agreement is what got him removed from the season 2 writers credits of X-Men 97. So he wants that back. Further, DeMayo is alleging that Marvel Studios tried to silence him regarding what he says was rampant, discriminatory, and harassing conduct that took place during his time on the X-Men 97 project. He also claims that Marvel unjustly removed those credits. We talked about that part. So the problem I have with Beau DeMayo and his truth is that, number one, he's putting it behind a paywall. That is a tacky move, if you ask me. If a person was invested enough in this drama and they really wanted to know his side of the story, and if his side of the story is anything more than what we have already heard him and his attorneys put out, somebody might be willing to pay that $9.99 a month to listen to Beau DeMayo speak his truth. That's the first problem I have with this whole thing. Why put it behind a paywall? The second problem I have is that he's saying he's gay, black, and open about it. And I'm not 100% positive, of course, because I'm not on these productions. But it would be hard for me to believe that he is the only gay, black, and open person on these productions. So, what would make him any different than the others? Unless by him being gay, black, and open, could he have been, I won't call it harassing the colleagues, but could he have even been speaking inappropriately to some of his colleagues about his private life? Is that a possibility? The people who said that he sent pictures of himself unsolicited, is that a possibility? Because yes, that might be a part of you being gay, black, and open, but then it also is infringing upon other people's rights who may not want the advances upon them. That is in any workplace. If you flip the script and it was a woman and a man, and everybody's heterosexual, and a man was sending unsolicited pictures, or vice versa, that can be considered harassment in any workplace. So I need more information. I need more information on what Beau DeMayo is claiming his gay, black, and open. This is not me saying that I believe Disney above everybody, because we know Disney is full of shit at times too. But this whole situation, especially after the Witcher stuff, and then there's a whole different set of accusations or allegations against Beau DeMayo from the Witcher production. This doesn't pass the smell test to me. It still seems like there has to be more to this story than what we're getting from Disney. And there's definitely more than what we've gotten from Beau DeMayo. And I'm not paying $9.99 to hear the rest of his story. So you guys let me know what you think about it down in the comments, and then we will move on to the next story in this week's wrap up. Okay, in this story, which is more mess, I know this is a messy weekly wrap up, but in this story, I thought that I had like missed a boat on this story, that my window of opportunity to talk about what was going on had closed because this is something that started maybe 2 weeks ago. But now, today, we're going to dive into a fiery feud that's been taking over social media, and that is between Marlon Wayans and DJ Vlad. Now, the tension began when DJ Vlad, for whatever reason, revealed that Marlon Wayans had asked for about $40,000 and 30% of future revenue for an interview on Vlad TV. So, Vlad said that, this wasn't going to be something that he'd be able to do with Marlon Wayans. And you would think that that would be the end of it. But no, there's so much more. So Vlad at that point just didn't hold back. His emotions got the best of him. He started calling Marlon Wayans delusional for making such demands, saying he's not worth this amount of money. And Marlon wasn't going to let that slide. So he clapped back, accusing Vlad of being unprofessional, using his platform to publicly drag Marlon Wayans. And then things continued to escalate. And I mean quickly, with Vlad making jabs at Wayans his whole career and even making insinuations about his sexuality. So Marlon fired back, saying Vlad is hated by the urban community and that he can't compete with Marlon's legendary status. Adding another personal touch, Wayans even took shots at Vlad's appearance, claiming he's genuinely loved by fans in ways that Vlad could only dream of. Some of the things that were said are, I'm sure, are going across the screen right now, and I'm pretty sure it could have gotten a whole lot worse than this. So reactions were mixed, of course. Some people thought that Wayans was right to set his price and just stand firmly behind his price, while others are just here for the tea. They just want the drama. So whatever they have to do to stoke those fires, they were going to do it. So the back and forth went on, and then it got quiet. Got quiet for a little moment, and everybody thought, okay, beef over. That was fun to watch for a moment. And then, for some apparent reason, Vlad comes back, makes one last shot at Marlon Wayans, and then Marlon Wayans told him, Vlad, basically, I'm gonna do everyone else's show except for yours. Because Vlad really believed, that Marlon Wayans didn't have the star power to pull more than 100,000 views for an interview with him. Fast forward a couple of days, and I mean just a few days, and Shannon Sharp enters the chat. Now, everybody knows that when you go on Club Shay Shay, especially our black comics here lately, black comics, when they sit down on the couch and they get some of that cognac in them that he is serving, the tongues get really loose, and you just start, the conversation flows effortlessly. And Shannon Sharp invites Marlon Wayans to his show. Not only did he invite him to the show, this is the way that he introduced the fact that he was going to be doing this sit down with Marlon Wayans. He called him a member of the legendary Wayans family empire. They revolutionized the world of entertainment. One of the most recognized, respected, and successful comedic actors of this generation. With over 30 years in the entertainment industry, he's contributed to several iconic movies, TV shows, and cult classics. His films have grossed more than $1 billion in global box office sales. A writer, producer, stand up comedian, Hollywood actor, an all around entertainer, and a comedy icon. Marlon Wayans pulled on up to Club Shay Shay for an unforgettable conversation. And all of that Everything that Shay Shay said there, that's all true. And he always gives his guest a glowing introduction. But if you don't think that that glowing introduction was shots fired at DJ Vlad, then you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, baby, because you know that that was meant for him. You did not realize who you would have had sitting down talking to you. So Shannon Sharp and his team made sure you knew the accolades and the accomplishments of this black man. I mean, they're not only did they launch the careers of the Wayans family, you also got Jim Carrey out of this. You got Jamie Foxx out of this. You got J Lo out of this. A lot of people launched their careers with In Living Color. So if you don't remember what In Living Color is, you're probably a lot younger than me. In Living Color was a sketch show that was produced by Keenan Ivory Wayans that featured so many members of his very talented, very funny family, and also some of those celebrity names that I've just mentioned. They all were part of the cast of this sketch comedy show, and it was awesome. We just never knew week after week what we were going to get into, what we were going to see. It was wild. Tommy Davidson, Robert Allen Greer. It was so many big black names, names that you, not even just the black names, because like I said, Jim Carrey was there too. So for him to have contributed so much to pop culture, it makes me wonder, who did Vlad think he was talking to? Because Vlad, not only did he make these public shots on Twitter slash X, whatever we're calling it nowadays, but he also invited other comics. For instance, Aries Spears. Now, Aries Spears, on his best day, does not to me compete with Marlon Wayans on his worst. And we got Aries Spears. He's got over his head that whole allegation of them using him and Tiffany Haddish using children in a sketch that was provocative and sexual in nature. So yeah, I haven't forgotten about that either. So just because Ari Spears may have been willing to do a sit down with you for $40 in a pack of Newports doesn't mean that Marlon Wayans should do the same thing. And because you are looking at your, and I'm talking Vlad right now, you're looking at your audience. They're here for the mess. Most of the time they're here for the mess. So you're looking at your audience and you're gauging your little messy audience against an audience of people who may or may not love the content that Marlon Wayans puts out, but they're going to support that family, right? So, for instance, I believe that even though on the surface, Shannon Sharp and DJ Vlad do very similar things, their things are very different. Shannon Sharp has a podcast, and even Vlad tried to like nitpick about the difference between a podcast and an interview. There is no difference. If the podcast format is interview, then an interview is a podcast. And if you're sitting down for 2 hours talking to any celebrity, any person for that matter, if I sat down and talked to your ass for 2 hours, we did either a podcast or an interview or both. And that is what Shannon Sharp is. So Shannon Sharp calls his a podcast, and DJ Vlad calls his an interview, but we're splitting hairs here. You're sitting down for 2 hours, you're having a candid conversation with a celebrity. The difference is the framing. Shannon Sharp does not lead with the mess. He is not the person that's trying to dig up mess. What he's doing is pouring a drink and letting a person talk. He asks a couple of questions. The questions are nothing heavy hitting or hard hitting. He's not there trying to break news, for instance. He's just having a conversation with a celebrity. With DJ Vlad's channel, it's all about the mess. It's all about the drama. That's what he leads with. So, in essence, DJ Vlad gets paid off of the culture having drama. Shannon Sharp gets paid off of the culture. You get what I'm saying? There's a difference. One of us is doing it for the culture, and the other one is doing it to profit off of the culture, if you get my drift. So, Shannon Sharp brings on Marlon Wayans. And of course, that's just like throwing gasoline onto that fire, because that interview at the time of me recording this had over 3 million views. And that was within 3 days, because today is the 8th. So 4 days, 4 days, 3+ million views. And this is not to say that same amount of views would have come for DJ Vlad, because again, I think that there is a crossover between their audiences, but I think the major part of DJ Vlad's audience will not be the same people, the main people who watch the Shannon Sharp stuff. I just think that there are two different audiences. There again, there is a cross section, but it's not as big as many would think. I think that this resonated with Shannon Sharp's audience. And 3 million plus views later, Marlon Williams is not shy about using this success of this interview to basically get the last word. He who laughs last laughs loudest. Now, before all of this went down, Vlad did apologize during a show with DJ Academics. Might be another problematic person. I mean, a lot of the problems that people have with DJ Vlad, however, is that DJ Vlad happens to be Caucasian. So if you're profiting off of the drama and you're profiting off of a bad mojo, bad energy in the black community as a white person, it really is not a good look. Even though DJ Vlad got far more fans than I do. But the end all be all is it he looks like he's benefiting from the worst part of our culture, put it like this. So Vlad goes on DJ Academics, so again he might be problematic a little bit too, and he admitted that he overreacted. Wayans is not interested in your apologies at this point. This all could have been squashed. He's going to keep his focus, however, on promoting that upcoming Wild Child tour, because that's why he's doing the rounds. He's got a tour, and that tour is kicking off September 14th in Vegas. So while this was funny, we laugh and all of this stuff, this is not just entertainment. It's a spotlight on deeper issues around these interview pricings and the respect that creatives deserve, and even the racial dynamics in media. All of these things have had a spotlight shown on it because of this quote unquote beef. Because an interview price is an interview price. If somebody wanted me to come on their show and told me that they would pay me $30, I would gladly take it, because I'm not doing shit else. But Marlon Wayans is not Tasha Pierce. You get what I'm saying? Marlon Wayans is not Aries Spears. You know what I'm saying? He's a multi hyphenate person in show business. He has the years underneath his belt, and those years should equal some amount of respect. And I think that's where DJ Vlad got it wrong. He tried to dictate this man's worth to him. If you don't want to pay it, that's fine. You just say, I don't want to pay it. I'm not paying that much. And you move on to the next. But don't try to bring it and make it public and clown this man who has already put in the work. He's put in 30 years of work. Almost what? Over 30 years of work. He's put in over 30 years of work. But anyway, we talked about it in Living Color, because one of the things that Marlon Wayans brought up on Shannon Sharp's uh, interview podcast, which one do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. Is it the same? Because to me, it's the same. You're sitting down for 2 hours, you're talking, that's a podcast. You're sitting down for 2 hours, you're talking, that's an interview. But anywho, Marlon Wayans talked about why his family left in Living Color way back in the day after 4 successful seasons. So, according to Marlon, a syndication deal that Fox struck was hurting Keenan's pockets. And I don't know exactly how that show being syndicated would hurt Keenan, but the family kind of got into solidarity. They got into lockstep behind Keenan when they felt like he was being robbed by Fox. So the Wayans siblings, they because of their loyalty, blood is thicker than mud, they walked. So they were offered hefty paychecks to stay, but they made their final appearance during that 1992 Christmas episode where Jamie Foxx was okay when he did that, yeah, they silently protested in that episode by just standing behind the cast and wearing these black shades, and they were expressionless. They did all of that to stand in solidarity with their brother Keenan. So after their exit, the show continued on for one more season, but it just didn't have the Wayans. It didn't have that Wayans touch. The Wayans didn't have a seasoning in it, and it never captured the magic that it did when the Wayans family was there. So it wasn't just again a family affair. It launched Jennifer Lopez. It launched J, Jim Carrey, David Allen Greer. Did I call him Robert Allen Greer earlier? His name is David Allen Greer. David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, Rosie Perez was over the Fly Girls. Again, I don't know how this syndication deal was going to affect Keenan in a negative manner, but that ain't got, that's nothing to do with nothing. They did what they had to do to stand by their brothers, and that's respect. So from celebrity beef to TV history, this is the tea that you did not know that you needed. Before I go any further, I'd like to say a very big thank you to my patrons and channel members. You see them flowing across your screen right now. Thank you guys for keeping the lights on around here. If you too would like to support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/Tasha Pierce, or you can click that join button right here on this here video. Or maybe you might just want to send me a one-time donation via Super Thanks or Cash App. All of those will be down in the description. Thank you so much. Since my friend Marge made it an Alien weekend, I think we should talk about the runaway success of Alien Romulus, which has just become the highest grossing horror film of 2024, raking in a massive $285.3 million globally in just 3 weeks. It's already beaten out A Quiet Place Day One, which was previously holding the crown with $261.5 million worldwide. So over Labor Day weekend alone, Alien Romulus pulled in $11 million, securing second place at the box office. Now, here's a better breakdown. Domestic ticket sales have reached $90.6 million, but it's really the international markets that have taken Romulus to the next level, with a huge $194.7 million overseas. Now, in China, it's earned a $93.1 million paycheck. But that's really impressive because Hollywood and China have not been getting along here recently. In fact, Hollywood has been struggling in that market. And what's even more remarkable is that Alien Romulus was made with a modest $80 million budget. So it has made back its production costs and more. It was originally planned to be a streaming movie. They was gonna put this movie on Hulu, but then they was like, okay, theater is starting to look up at the theater again, so let's throw it in the theaters. And now it's the second highest film in the franchise, only behind Prometheus. And it stands a chance. It still stands a chance at catching and passing Prometheus if things continue on this trajectory. So it's already outperformed Alien Covenant from 2017. Prometheus is the only thing that is stopping it from going all the way to the top. It also has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but to me, it does mean that this has crossover appeal between the critics and the audience. It's clear that we all are loving this movie. But Alien Romulus has definitely reinvigorated this 45-year-old franchise. 45-year-old franchise. And that first Alien movie still holds up. But it's a 45-year-old franchise. It sets the stage for even more installments. So it looks like we're going to be seeing more from the Xenomorphs. Another movie making box office milestones is Inside Out 2, smashing records left and right. Now, this Pixar sequel has officially become the highest grossing animated film of all time, pulling in an eye watering $1.67 billion worldwide. It is now the ninth highest grossing movie across all genres of all time. It surpassed Disney's 2019 movie, The Lion King, not the original one because the 2019 Lion King. But anywho, even more impressive. Inside Out 2 is the first animated movie to hit $1 billion in overseas box office alone. Alone. Meanwhile, another animated movie, Despicable Me 4, is also making waves. It has earned $915.2 million globally, making it the third highest grossing film in its own franchise. Now, thanks to this latest installment, the franchise has officially crossed the $5 billion mark, making it the first animated collection to achieve that milestone. Despicable Why can't I talk? Despicable Me 4 is still holding strong, and I think now we're in the 11th weekend. It raked in an additional $5 million over Labor Day weekend, and I'm pretty sure it's tacking on to that right now. So, Deadpool earlier this year became the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. And then you have Inside Out, the highest grossing animated film of all time. You got Despicable Me 4 making big numbers. This has been a really big year. But you know who's laughing all the way to the bank right now? Disney. Because a lot of these titles that we just talked about are all part of the Disney family of movies. Disney is celebrating a massive success. When you look at Pixar, you can look at Marvel, and as it stands, the all time box office is still ruled by 2009's Avatar, which is also a Disney movie now, and it remains at the top with $2.92 billion. But with these recent animated hits, there is no reason why an animated movie might not make its way to that top spot. You never know. And I could not talk about the box office without talking about this weekend's big winner at the box office. It's a Warner Brothers happy day because Beetlejuice has done its thing with Tim Burton's Beetlejuice grossing close to 110 million. Look, they don't have the final numbers yet, but right now it's looking like this opening weekend is $110 million. And look, that's a pretty good haul for Beetlejuice. And I've already said his name like 4 or 5 times, so you already know I'm getting a visit tonight. I've already said his name, I might as well keep on saying it. Beetlejuice has many of the same people from the first movie. So this is a sequel that has been years, decades in the making. Again, $110 million is what it is looking at right now. And it has outgrossed the lifetime total, adjusted for inflation, for the original 1988 movie, which made $74.7 million. One weekend, y'all. One weekend. This one here attracted a more female audience. And let me tell you, the ladies was out there. The ladies went out there to see they Beetlejuice. And now I have said this at least 12 times in this segment. I'm going to try not to say it again, but just know we're going to keep our eye on the box office for Beetle. I said it. I said it. We're going to keep our eye on the box office and see how well it does because I am very, very interested in how we can wait 30 years for a sequel and people still come running out for it. This is absolutely fantastic, the reception that this movie is receiving. And even though I see that the ratings are kind of up and down, we talking 70 something percent on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, it's certified fresh at this point. But I just thought that it would do a little bit better. But as long as Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder still have the touch this movie should continue to do well at the box office. I can't get out of here without telling you about a couple of things that were streaming this week. We got some new things for you to look out for, maybe that you might want to watch. Hulu September 3rd, English Teacher came out. Then we also had on Peacock September 5th, Fight Night, The $1 Million Heist. That one has me interested simply because it's got Don Cheadle in it. But yes, that's another thing to catch up on. And then, of course, The Perfect Couple from Netflix came out on September 5th. So those are some things that you can add to your streaming rotation. Let me know if any of those tickled your fancy down in the comments below. And there you have it. That's it for this week's wrap up. As I said, I have been under the weather, so I'm going to cut it right there. I had so much more planned, though, but I'm going to cut it right there until next week, of course. But that doesn't have to stop these conversations. Tell me what you thought about each of this week's topics down in the comments below. Do me the honor, please, of subscribing to my channel and turning your notifications on so you will not miss the next weekly wrap up. If you have things that you want me to cover in the mean and in between, you can find me in a myriad of places. You can put your thoughts in the comments or you can email me right here. I think it's right here. It's right here. It's right here. So you can email me there. Send me your ideas, your thoughts, and I will try to incorporate them into our next weekly wrap up. With all that being said, it has been fun. I'm Tasha Pierce, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.